short and midterm price analysis for AVAX Avalanche, Polkadot, and Cosmos Atom. Go ahead and make sure to use the tags down below and get ready to go. I won't rhyme at you anymore, I promise. We're going to start off with AVAX. It might be moving the hottest. I have two things in mind here. First off, I can take off price. I have on an EMA fill with the daily, so I'm on the daily chart, the 10 and the 21 EMA. When they cross to the upside, this EMA fill turns green. Usually when you flip green, you do get continuation. Therefore, if Bitcoin is going to drag altcoins down, whether it's a moderate degree or completely ruin its run, it is important to have a Bitcoin analysis underfoot. And from my today's analysis, if you didn't check that out, you want to know the exact key level so you can be nimble for each of these three coins. Click this video right here to check that out first. Let's dive back into AVAX. However, with the idea that this is now flipping green, and I can zoom in, that is flipped green, you likely get some continuation to the upside. With the idea that sometimes when this flips green, you will get a retest of it, which would also hit this origin line. See all these lines moving this way? There are a couple price paths here, especially if Bitcoin wants to initiate a move down to fill its CME gap at 40,900. I could see AVAX coming back to hit its daily 10 EMA, which should be up at 82 by that point. That would be a mildly worst case scenario if Bitcoin would make a higher low first, then move up, and AVAX would probably move down to it, check its daily 10, so maybe even around 83. However, if Bitcoin simply wants to charge up to 50K, and then that video to which I linked you earlier, you'll get an exact line on that. I mean, AVAX could really get moving here. I see a couple points of potential trouble where it'll either hesitate or potentially completely stop. Is you have an origin line, right? See this dotted line? It is lining up with this previous local high. Therefore, around the point of 96 might be, or maybe even I would say 97 to 98 would be a pretty good area for AVAX to then want to cool off before trying higher. This would be my initial range before, and the pullback might only be one red day candle where you wouldn't want to jump out of positions. However, I do see strong chance for hesitation to the 97 to 98 level because two important lines are crossing horizontal from the most recent daily local high plus this origin line. When they cross, it's approaching that cross right now. And let's just take a look. Let's zoom out to see how much price history this line. So the recent price history, it got these lows. It's the same line. You see that? So therefore, this support will likely, even though it's an ascending line, just like a horizontal, it should create some resistance. However, if Bitcoin does initiate a move straight up to 50K without any pullbacks, I can see this busting right through it. I mean, in that case, I would give two different price targets. I'll give you a more bullish one and then a mid-case one. I would say with the daily candle closures here, along with all these three wicks, 1, 2, 3 here, and this strong wick here, I mean, all of that seems to align with this next origin line up. And, you know, if AVAX were really be able to take off, I could see it go, charging all the way up to $123. That would be a pretty dang solid move. And if that were to happen straight up without, you know, more than one day in a row of being red, that would probably be a good time to take some serious profits and wait for a re-entry. And that would be the most bullish case. All right. So I've already given, you know, the more mild case, which is not very far above price. And then the next price target, I could see it bumping its head on these daily candles over here, the bottom of this horizontal, somewhere around 108. And I guess you can make other horizontals within here as well. I mean, there are several price points. However, it's really important to have Bitcoin analysis under your foot, but those are the price levels that I can see. So let me actually just mark these off for you so you can see how they flirt around. So from this wick high, also goes to here, draw this sucker over, and let's make it to this effect. I could see price maybe have a pullback here, scream all the way up to 120 for daily closure, but wick up to maybe even 125. And that would be an extremely strong move, but extremely strong moves do happen. I mean, look what came up back here, and that would essentially give you, something like a triple top before a pullback, and then potentially looking for all-time highs. And I wouldn't shy away from, seeing that as a potential target. It depends on how much you want to trade this, and how much, how many points you want to take profit. That might be, my more mega profit taking point. And then I suspect that there's going to be hesitation somewhere around $97 to $98 with a few price points here in the middle that could create hesitation, like 107. So 97, 98, 107, and 125 are my upper end price targets where you could expect, hesitation and or a pullback, and or that concludes its run before it has to make a major lower high, because this, this is, as of now, this is a pretty aggressive run up. And I guess it has formed some higher lows, but I'm talking more of a macro higher low. When it's going to initiate that downturn to form a macro higher low, it's likely going to happen at one of those three levels that I just gave you. But as of now, there's nothing bearish about this. You had an EMA cross on the daily, which is a bullish cross. Remember that EMA fill right here? I mean, that is bullish. It just flipped green. It's going to get continuation. Those are the hesitation points. Let's move on to Polkadot. Turn on your camera and microphone and ask me questions directly live to my face up to 8 times a week on Discord. Links to the community within the description section of all my videos. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Closest man to this too. If online communities aren't your thing, but you want to be able to have exclusive content above and beyond what's offered on YouTube for free, click the join button below this video, and then another video pop up describing your options to you. Okay, ready to go check out Polkadot? Let's get it. Polkadot's being a little bit of a laggard. I'm not for sure why. It's, you would think there'd be a DOT season. I mean, for how big of a deal this project is. This is very lackluster type of stuff. However, you can see how this same EMA fill, let's take that off. Let's take off price. It hasn't yet flipped green, and AVAX's has flipped green. Bitcoin's has flipped green. I mean, this is below even Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, DOT versus Bitcoin should be either staying level or going down, right? If I went to the DOT BTC chart, so Bitcoin is outperforming Polkadot. Now the question is, when it breaks back above this line, which so I will take off this fill because you can see it's about ready to flip, right? It's about ready to flip, and it's had a retest of it, which is actually. That's not bad. However, taking off that EMA fill, once price can get back above here, that will probably initiate a move, not just to go above this local high, which could create hesitation somewhere around 28. So 28 would be a first likely area of hesitation. And see what also is there is this origin line right here. To a horizontal plus an origin line likely will create hesitation. However, I think Polkadot could have a strong chance of busting right through that because a lot of buyers are going to come in after this trend line's broken. There are tons of pattern traders out there. They're going to be trading that, and it's going to bring a lot of interested buyers to the table. I have a strong feeling of that. I would guess that Polkadot would bust through the 28 level and probably come up closer to $30 to $32 would be my price target, under the assumption, remember, that Bitcoin does not first go back to test or refill its CMA gap. And I'll link you to that my Bitcoin analysis today, giving you 2 specific levels, because if one of those is initiated, it's going to affect DOT. You need to watch that again. I'll link you to that at the end of this video. And therefore, I think 28 will be busted through. It'll come straight to here, and then we'll reassess at that point. But what has to happen first is Bitcoin needs to keep, staying level or bullish, which is important. Why it's important to keep an eye on Bitcoin, and it has to get above this horizontal right here, which is just connecting the 3 recent lower highs. But I am anticipating a strong bust up at that point, and that's really the analysis for Polkadot. It's pretty simple. It's obviously going to be based. You need to keep an eye on Bitcoin for this. Now let's dump into. We're not going to dive into. We're going to dump into Cosmos Atom. So let's get it. All right, I'm going to turn on that same EMA fill here, and you can see that Atom has not flipped its green either. So AVAX is outperforming both of these by quite a long shot. AVAX has a lot of interested buyers buying it up, and you can see very clearly the difference here. AVAX has flipped green, and this hasn't even tightened. Usually it tightens and squeezes up like that, and in price, put price back on and zoom in. Price is just hanging out in there and kind of getting rejected from the top. I'm not for sure, if there's news for AVAX, which is creating that more aggressive move up. However, this could be a decent entry into Atom, with the idea that Bitcoin does again close a 4-hour candle above 44,100 per my Bitcoin analysis today. This could really charge up, and because it is an altcoin, one of the few that set an all-time high recently in 2022. I think it squeaked out an all-time high. It's one of the few. Near Protocol's another one. I think this might have a stronger chance than almost anything out there. Once this gets initiated, it could have a strong chance to get back up to $45 range and flirt with this all-time high. I think it has a strong chance. Now, does Polkadot have a strong chance of going back flirt to its all-time high? Hell no, because Polkadot's way down here on its chart, right? Therefore, Atom, once it can get this, essentially what I call a squeeze play. I don't know if I coined that word or whatever, but that's what I call it when EMAs are crossing to the upside in a bullish fashion. A shorter EMA, the 10 on the daily, is crossing above the 21 EMA. That's a bullish squeeze play. I think Atom, will be attracted straight towards this line at let's call it like 43 to 45. Now, does that depend strongly on whether or not Bitcoin then starts ruining the party? Absolutely. That's why, for all these altcoins, and any altcoin that you follow, you need to have a good handle on Bitcoin analysis. So if you missed my Bitcoin analysis from the day, click this video right here. If you want to learn how to set up a chart just like mine and do better in cryptocurrency, 28-minute trading view tutorial, click that video, and subscribe by hitting the circle here in the middle if you're new to the channel. You just got Zimified Worldwide. Peace.